Okay. All right. Thank you so much. So as I was saying, so I met, because I'm actually working on a project now for all the, for, if you are not talking, please mute yourself. For all the supermarket in Qatar, I'm working on a project. So I had to approach one of the supermarkets. I went there, I checked, the way they were making their sales is that at the end of the day, now you purchase something, they are not even keeping record. You purchase it, they collect money from you. And at the end of the day, what they do is that they will count their stock. They do that every day. But that is actually not effective. It's not effective at all. So that is what they do. And you know, as a data analyst or as a data person, what you're actually looking for is that you are looking for people's loopholes and find a way to find the solution to them. So when I saw this, I said, okay, wow. So with this company now, this company can actually say, okay, they are interested in my solution and say they want me to develop a solution for them. Excuse me. If they want such, this is what I'm going to do. This problem that we have given our students is what I am going to do for them, for any establishment, whether small or big establishment. So once anyone can do this, you are a pro. So before we start, I really want to appreciate our outgoing student because I know a lot of them have been able to do this and have their submission. Although we have limited number of students that will do their presentation today because some of them reach out to me, they came with some of excuse. But with what we are going to learn today, I believe for our new students, they will have idea on what it is coming for them. And please don't be scared. I mean, a lot of them also came in without any knowledge, without any IT knowledge. A lot of them came in without any IT knowledge. And by God's grace, we are able to help and teach them for them to actually have this understanding. Okay, so that is just one question. We have a lot of questions, but we don't want to waste our time. So our presenter is going to go through the first question, this question, and the Power BI question. Okay, so if you have enough time, we can bring her back. All right, so okay, so before we start, I want to give my pioneer instructor time to say something before we start. Mr. Lawrence, are you there? Okay, Mr. Lawrence. Okay, Mr. Lawrence is here. Mr. Lawrence. Okay, so all right. I think he's busy now. Mr. Godwin, do you have something to say before we kickstart?
Well, everyone, thank you and welcome back. It's been a beautiful year, and so we're about to start a new year. So I want to welcome you all back. We took a while for us to get back. So it's another time to get cracking, get serious, and join our industry. You know, for those of you that are new, I welcome you. And for some of you that are not new, you're just here to see what's new here. Because, yeah, every day things is happening and, you know, so it's a beautiful time to join us. And the world is changing as we're watching it. The world is changing. Now to 5 years, everything will not be the same the way you see it now. So whatever we're showing here is very important for you to follow. Okay. So thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that, Mr. Godwin. Okay, Mr. Lawrence is now around. Okay, Mr. Lawrence will come after the news. All right, so you have the floor, Ojo Oluwatosin.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Sorry, I was struggling to unmute. I have something going on, like I'm trying to do something very quickly at work. That's why I'm not able to speak at that time. But it's good to be back, and it's also nice to see some of our guys. And of course, this presentation tonight is going to be like an eye opener for some of us, and it's something we've been looking up to, and we are hopeful that all the knowledge that we've all that we've gathered will be put to good use. So I want to say thank you to all the presenters and congratulations also. Please, I want to encourage you. You can always reach out to us. Like we are a chat away. So please let it not be that after the presentation today, then we won't have reasons to come together again and do one or two things. So of course, there is another session after this where my colleague Godwin will be engaging you, very frequently. So please, we are looking forward to a very super presentation tonight. So thank you all, and thank you Alaka for the opportunity.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Mr. Alaka. Good evening, our instructors, Mr. Godwin, Mr. Lawrence. Good evening to all batch B, graduating sets, and every other person on this call. My name is Oluwatosin Ojo, and I'll be presenting my capstone project in a couple of minutes. Okay, so the first section is we're saddled with the responsibility of having to create an application for database system, and I was able to come up with the creation under electronic medical records. So my scenario proposal is for electronic medical records database. And this was informed by the experience I had while I was pregnant with my sons. I was at the government hospital over here in Nigeria. And then the method was usually very tedious, having to go to the medical records. You get there, you retrieve your card. By the time you get to see the doctor you are seeing might not be the one that saw you the last time, so you have to go through the whole explanation, sometimes taking your records again because they do not want to start opening the files and going back and forth. So this was inspired by that, and I realized that digitizing the patient's records and automating these processes could make the entire system more seamless and reduce stress. So this database was done to automate patient records. That means the patient's information, their appointments, their medical history can be stored and easily accessed both by the doctors and the administrative staff without needing any physical record retrieval. Then the second thing is that it will streamline appointments and follow-ups, and it will make it faster. It will reduce stress on the part of the staff and on the part of the patient. Then it will also provide real-time data for doctors. That means they have access to the medical histories during consultations, and it allows for better and faster decision making. And with this EMR system, hospitals will not only improve their efficiency, but also enhance the patient experience by reducing waiting times and making visits more manageable. Because many times by the time we need to go and, make payments at the cashier before you get back to where you are retrieving your card. In fact, sometimes they would have started the antenatal care health talk already. You have missed out on some things. So in short, this system is recommended so that the hospitals would have improved efficiency and also enhance patient experience. So this is the suggested workflow for how the electronic medical record system would function from the moment a patient arrives at the hospital. So for the purpose of this presentation, we are streamlining it to the antenatal care department in the hospital, if department is the right word to use. We have several sections in the hospital. We have the gynae ward, we have the pediatrician, the pediatrics ward, sorry. We have male medical, female medical ward, and different wards in the hospital. But this is targeted towards the ANC, and I believe that it can also be used in any of the sections in the hospital. So the first thing is that the patient checks in at the reception or the records desk, and the patient first checks in at this place. Then instead of manually retrieving physical records, having to go through, this means the staff, the administrative staff there will have to get up, go inside where they keep the files, start checking through the files one after the other. If the file is not there, perhaps if the person is even under NHIS, they have to tell the patient to hold on, have to go back to where the NHIS department is, and then have to retrieve the file physically. But instead of having this, it will be it's digital now, and then the receptionist can use the patient's unique ID, which is either the patient's number, phone number, anything unique to that person, and input it into the EMR system. For new patients, the person can create a new record directly into the system and entering basic information such as their name, their contact details, and the medical history. While for existing patients, that means someone that has registered with them already, but is just coming for another appointment, then the records are instantly pulled up for review, including their previous visits, their prescriptions, the prescription that was given to them the last time they were at the hospital, and their upcoming appointments. So the second thing will be the automated notification to the medical staff. That means this database is created in such a way that as the doctors are seated in their rooms, they usually have different rooms, maybe room 1, 2, 3, 4, up to the number of rooms they want to have. They are seated here with their systems. So once the patient is checked in, the system automatically sends a notification to the doctor or the relevant department that the person is going to. Probably the person wants to do a blood test or something. So a notification is sent to them, and this saves time and ensures that the medical staff is aware of the next patient in line. And after this, we have the consultation, the patient consultation. That means the doctor already has access to whatever it is going on with the patients, their past visits, their diagnoses, their previous prescriptions, and could only just use few minutes or few seconds in cross-checking with the patient instead of having to ask the patient all over again, what's your name? When was the last time you had this sickness? When was the last time you had this? But by the time we have something digitalized for them already, they have access to their past visits, their past diagnoses, and previous prescriptions. And this will enable for real-time updates. During the consultation, the doctor can add notes, just jot some things that are needed again, or maybe what the other person missed out, such that the next person that is seeing the patient already is sort of familiar with whoever it is coming in to see them. Now, the fourth thing is the prescription and treatment plan. Now, the prescription automation, if the doctor prescribes a medication, the system can automatically generate a digital prescription, which can either be printed or sent to the hospital pharmacy. But I believe if it is sent to the hospital pharmacy, it would also help with it when the patient gets there. They already know. It's not like they are keeping the patients waiting, and then you get maybe there are like 100 of persons in front of the person, and then the person has to wait. By the time it gets to the person's turn, the person is now told that, okay, please give me a minute, let us go and look for these drugs. And then, they start searching and searching and searching. By the time they come out, they're now telling the person, oh, we don't have this drug. So the person has to go out again to, it just helps to save time, reduces errors, and ensures that the accurate dosage and medication information is also processed into their system. Also, it also helps the treatment plan. If further treatment, tests, or follow-ups are required, the doctor can schedule them through the system, which will reflect in the patient's record. So it's more or less like the patient, everything concerning that patient is already documented. So by the time the next doctor is seeing the patient. It might not necessarily have to be the doctor that saw that patient the last time they were at the hospital, but the person is aware that, okay, there's a test you were supposed to take, there's a follow-up that is required, and then it's easy for them to access. Unlike when it's documented or there could be an oversight of the person seeing the patient, and it might not even be documented manually because of the stress that it takes in writing and all of that, and then they're left with the patient having to provide information. But when this documentation has been done, the patients cannot lie to them because they have access to what is on the system already. And the fifth thing I have here, sorry, is that it would help in scheduling future appointments. It makes appointments booking seamless. And I remember that when I used to visit the hospital, then the doctor would write something on the card. I would have to collect the card from him, take it back to the medical records. I have to wait another line sometimes, keep waiting for them to collect that card from me, and then now pick up their calendar, try to check, okay, what date is, because they write it maybe 2/52. That means in 2 weeks' time, they have to check through again. So if these things are already in place, while the patient is with the doctor can easily just schedule the next appointment, and it reflects on the receptionist or the person that the record officer's system that this person is coming at this time, and it saves stress and it saves time. And also we could have automated notifications sent to the patient, like probably something attached to this documentation, such that the patient receives an email or an SMS to remind them in advance of their next visit to the hospital. Another thing that I have here is billing and payments. That means there's an integrated billing system. If the hospital has an integrated billing system already, after the appointment, the patient's bill can be automatically generated based on services rendered, consultation and every other thing that the patient needs to pay, and then it would reflect immediately. It's just about saving time and saving stress on the part of the patient, and also enabling the administrative staff to work well and attend to as many persons as possible in a day. The system can also support back-end functions such as generating reports on patient trends. Probably the patient is one that usually does not come for clinic regularly, miss some appointments. It will be easy to track and monitor their performance, and also monitor the doctor's performance, and also track the usage of their medical resources. Okay, is this person did the person do the test we asked them to do? Are they using the drugs? Stuff like that would be monitored, and it would help to understand the trend or the kind of patients that they are dealing with. These processes ensure that the patient's journey from check-in to consultation and follow-up is streamlined with minimal delays and manual intervention. It also allows for efficient management of appointments, medical records, and prescriptions, improving overall healthcare and delivery. Now, normalized database. We have different tables and structure for this scenario. We have the following main entities for the medical records. For the medical records database, pardon me, we have the patient, the doctor, the medical history, the prescription, the appointment, and the treatment. The primary keys, foreign keys, and attributes for each of the tables are listed here. For the patient table, we have the primary key to be the patient's ID. That is the unique ID that the patient will be identified with. Maybe it could be formed depending on the department or depending on the record of officials. Maybe, for example, for the ANC to be A, for the antenatal clinic I was using as inspiration, is to be ANC/ the number / however it is they want it. Then the attributes of that table will include the first name of the person, the last name, their age, the gender, the phone number, the address, and the insurance details. While for the doctor table, the primary key would also be the doctor ID, the name of the doctor, the specialty of the doctor. For example, people working in the, doctors seeing patients in the ANC could also be from other departments. Probably they have somebody that has issues with the heart, cardio can be there to see, they can schedule an appointment with them. Deep nephro can be there. These ones have to do with urine, different doctors. So we need a unique ID, and we need a specialty rather of the doctor, and then the contact info, maybe the phone number. Then the medical history, the primary key will be the card ID, while the foreign key here will be the patient ID and the treatment ID. The attributes, diagnosis, and the treatment dates. Another table here is the prescription table. The primary key will be the prescription ID, foreign key, the patient ID, the doctor ID. The attributes include medication, the dosage of the medication administered, the start date, and the end date for the patient. While for the appointment, we have our primary key to be the appointment ID. The foreign key will be the patient ID, the doctor ID, the attribute, appointment date, and the reason. So that means perhaps the medical records need to, the reason why the appointment is there, the medical records needs to pull up the data for the number of appointments they have on a particular day, or they can just easily enter this and then the information would pop up. Then the treatment, the primary key will be the treatment ID, the prescription, the attribute to be the description, then the condition attached to that treatment. Perhaps for a particular treatment, they already have a unique ID for a particular treatment known to the doctors and known to them, that once they enter that unique ID, it's used to treat a particular ailment. So they can use this also to pull up data for whatever it is they want to make inquiries about. So why do we normalize? What is the reason for normalization? It helps to prevent duplication, and it makes updates easier and faster. It also enhances data integrity. It ensures that there's consistency and helps to eliminate anomalies. And then it helps to save space by organizing data efficiently. This structure provides a well-organized and optimized database for handling patient records, appointments, prescriptions, and other medical information, aligning with data management best practices. Okay, we're asked to make a screenshot of the populated table for appointment. We're asked to populate our table. So here is a populated table for the appointments. We have it there, the appointment ID, the patient ID is there, the doctor ID, appointment date, and the reason to follow up on the baby. Populated table for prescription is also here. I believe we can see. Here is also the populated table for the medical history. Diagnosis, probably the patient has an history of malaria, which is something that should not really occur in pregnancy. So it's here and it's easy to quickly pick up. And perhaps when such a person comes back to the hospital, they know that, oh, this baby has undergone malaria like 2 or 3 times already, and it's alarming. So they know what it is to do and what it's left for them to do for the patient. This is also the populated table for the patient, the name, the age, the gender, the phone number, their address, and their insurance details.
Excuse me. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Sorry to interrupt you. Why don't you run that PowerPoint presentation to make it bigger and we can see it clearly?
Okay.
Instead of you scrolling and just run it. Yeah. Thank you.
Is it better now?
Yeah, it's actually
No, I mean
you can press F5. Press F5 on your system. So it will be in what do we call it? Is it display mode? F5.
Okay, like
F5 should do that.
slides. Oh,
Slide,
okay.
yeah, rather, yeah, slide,
Yeah.
slide. Yeah, I think you are using two screen. You are using two screen, correct?
Yes, sir. Already.
Are you using two screen?
Yes.
And you can make it the screen to duplicate instead of extend.
Okay.
the display. You can make it duplicate. Yeah, duplicate slideshow. Oh, I see that. Yes, it's okay now.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, so we have SQL queries that can be run on this application. Okay. In order to retrieve the patient's information and their outputs, so this is selecting, then we are using our join function, and and it would give us the patient's information and their doctor. That's the output very close to it. Then another query is to get the patient's medical history. The list of prescriptions for a patient. Probably the patient has come around and then they just quickly want to know, okay, what is the prescription, while they are, trying to analyze the patient. Doctors with the most appointments in the department, how many of the doctors, probably there's a particular doctor that, has more appointments than the other person, something that can easily be checked. Okay, so here we have data governance. Security is a fundamental part of any healthcare database system, as it handles sensitive patient data. The goal is to prevent unauthorized access and data breaches or data loss. So how do we do that? We have access control. We know that, okay, maybe it's only the doctors that may access the patient's medical records, and admin staff may only access non-medical patients' information, such as the appointment schedules, so that the patients are comfortable with whatever system is being used, or comfortable with this system rather being used in such hospital. So they are assured that there's security. Their information is not just going to be flying around among the administrative staff. Oh, this person has this particular ailment. It's not going to be good that the administrative staff or any other person is going to be taking that information around. And all sensitive data, especially medical records, should be encrypted both at rest and in transit. This ensures that even if data is intercepted, it cannot be read without the proper decryption key. I didn't put this there, but I believe that it can be done, because I remember there was a time I was working with there's this NGO that we usually take the information of people with HIV and all of that. So perhaps you log into the system by mistake. It only takes someone that knows exactly what is there to be able to decrypt the data and have access to whatever has been put there. Authentication and authorization. Use multi-factor authentication to ensure secure access to the system. Regular audit of access logs will track who accesses or modifies record. This is also very important, such that the doctor has not put information there and then one administrative staff is just coming there to come and alter the information of the person that has been imputed. Then security protocols apply secure communication protocols such as HTTPS for data transmission between the hospital systems and external systems. Data integrity. Data integrity ensures that the data in the system is accurate, consistent, and reliable throughout its life cycle. Data validation. You're implementing input validation to ensure that all the data entered into the system is accurate and in the correct format. So that means by the time we are doing this, we do not want to have in one of the columns, that probably the columns for the ID, the patient's ID, somebody is now imputing words or imputing and it's entering or it's saving. We are supposed to ensure that the data is well validated such that the information imputed will be accurate and correct. Then version control and auditing. Keep track of changes made to a patient's medical records by maintaining an audit log. This provides a history of who accessed or modified a record, and when additionally version controls ensures that past data is not overwritten or preserving historical information. Regular backups are essential to protect against data loss due to system failures, human error, or cyber attacks. Ethical consideration. Ethics play a critical role in handling sensitive medical information. Ensuring that patient privacy and confidentiality are upheld is very, very important. Now, the patient consent. Patients should provide information consent before the data is stored or shared. The hospital must clearly explain how the data will be used, who can access it, and whether any third parties will have access to the data. So it simply means that the patients understand exactly what it is they are experiencing when they are supplying the information, and we are and they are being put to rest that your information is not going to be going to go out there and start flying around, and then these patients give their consent and provide this information, and on the part of the hospital, they're expected to keep up these ethics. Transparency. The system should be transparent about how patient data is collected, stored, and shared. Patients have the right to access their records and correct any errors. Data minimization. Only collect the data necessary for the patient's care and administrative functions. Excessive data collection increases risks of breaches and can violate ethical principles. For example, asking a patient, some irrelevant questions might not just be necessary. That ensuring that the data they are collecting from the patient is what is necessary and essential for their care. Legal considerations. Legal considerations in Nigeria, we have the NDPR, Nigeria Data Protection Regulation. It's a primary framework governing data protection in Nigeria, and it requires organizations handling personal data to ensure data privacy, security, and proper consent. For an EMR system, you must ensure the informed consent, rights to access, data retention policies. Health records regulations. Under the Nigeria's healthcare laws, hospitals and medical professionals are obligated to maintain patient confidentiality and data security. This aligns with the Code of Medical Ethics in Nigeria. And cyber crimes, I'm sure a number of us are familiar with cyber security and cyber crimes that flying around. Cyber crimes acts governs cybersecurity measures, making it mandatory for institutions like hospitals handling sensitive data to implement adequate protection against cyber attacks. The EMR system should implement strong encryption for data at rest and in transit, and maintain robust cybersecurity defenses to prevent unauthorized access or breaches. Report cyber incidents in line with Nigerian law. So quickly, I'll be running through my Power BI dashboard for AdventureWorks 2017 database. So here is the sales dashboard, and I have on this dashboard the total sales, the profits, the distinct customers, the sum of order quantity, profit margin, and the average number of days it takes to ship the products. Here we have the top sales by region, and we have it here that Australia has the highest sales when it comes to by region. So for AdventureWorks, that means they're looking at, okay, Australia is making sense. How do we get better? What should we do to Germany to ensure that these our sales skyrockets? And also we have top sales by gender here. It looks like the product is accepted by both male and female. And here we have our top sales by different age groups. And from this dashboard, we can see that the age group that gets most of our products are between ages 41 to 50. So it informs the decision, it informs whatever AdventureWorks is going to do to ensure that they keep running their products and ensuring that it gets to this age group. Then we also have our sales by country, and we have North America with the highest sales. Then total sales by month. December, here they have December with the highest number of sales. So they need to look into what happens in December. Is it because it's a festive period? Is it Christmas? Is it the end of the year? Whatever it is that is happening that is making the scales to skyrocket. And what happens in February? Is it Valentine? Is the products against love, whatever it is, what is happening. So it will help them to look into their products. And then we have the dashboard to be interactive. We can check through the years, check through different things, different fiscal periods, and all. Thank you very much.
Wow, this is amazing. Amazing. A round of applause for her. Please. I give it to you. I give it to you. Well done. Well done. You really represent us. You represent us well.
Thank you,
Okay, so
sir.
before I give my comment, I have comments. Before I give my comment, and please, for anyone on this call, if you have question, please you can give it to her. I believe that she'll be able to answer your question correctly. Okay, so I will want Mr. Owa and Mr. Lawrence to give their feedback on this. Then I'm going to say my own.
All right, so I'll go first.
Oh,
I'll,
great.
I'll go first.
Lawrence, go first. Yeah.
Thank you, Oluwatose Ojo. I want to commend you. I've been seeing your footprint on LinkedIn, and I've been seeing your contribution and all that. And then immediately you started this presentation, what came to my mind was Calendly. So there's a software application that allows you to schedule events and all that. And it's currently worth 3 billion naira. It's owned by a Nigerian. And I mean $3 billion, right? As useless as calendar is to us, like if I don't have an event, what am I looking at the calendar for? Right? But somebody somewhere is able to put something together, something that reminds you of events, notable events and all that. And we also have people who are now into virtual assistants. Like I know a lot of people in my circle who are now training to become virtual assistants, meaning that you can be here in Nigeria and you can be an assistant to somebody who is anywhere on the globe. So like it's a very powerful presentation. And then I'm of the opinion, that any sincere government, right, would leverage on data. So if you are a government and you are not talking data, then you are not out for the people, because if you are in governance, how many people are you catering for? What is their age bracket? You need to have all this data. So when all these things are not there, then you are not being sincere. Also, like what happens in places like the US, where they have social security number, I want you to think outside the box now. There's also now the need for you to begin to think of how we can have our national ID, which is the NIN, right? If it leverages on the national identity, then it becomes like a nationwide, so it's not tied to one clinic, one hospital, right? It means that with my NIN, for example, and that's the problem we have here in Nigeria, all our IDs, they are not linked. So I can't pick up my driver's license, and with the information on the license, I can't get information on my, either my, what do we call it now? My travel document. They are not linked. So we have a lot of means of identification, but not one speaks to the other. That's like the major problem. So I want you to begin to think of how you can bring in the NIN now as the unique identifier. Now, the problem scenario now is somebody is involved in an accident and they need a quick operation. They need to operate on them like right now. And this person has an ID. One of the ID is the national identity. So at the hospital, what are they supposed to do? Of course, they're supposed to impute his details. And with that, they know his genotype, they know his blood group, they know his family members and all that. So I want to really commend you. Thank you very much for the fantastic contribution. So I don't waste all of our time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Mr. Godwin.
So one of the area I really appreciate that you did, or the work that you did, was that you went out to research my work. The area where you research the job of a database administrator is very good. Now, when I taught you guys, the first thing I gave you guys was the Udemy platform for you guys to be able to study, because see, the industry that we are now in is a very broad industry where you need to have an idea of what you want to ask the other team to do for you. Now, looking or boiling down to this question, you need to understand table structure. If you don't understand table structure, like Lawrence was saying, invariably what he was trying to say is you need to create a constraint. You need to understand constraints. You need to understand table structures. Then, in understanding table structures at the same time, you need to understand normalizing that database. Because if you create this kind of complex structure, the database needs to be normalized. So maybe you don't know how to normalize. You need to ask me. How would you ask me? What would you ask? That boils down again to what I'm going to be doing for you guys, which, okay, if I'm saying you have 5 years experience, how do you have it if you cannot ask the right questions? If you don't know the right things, even though you understand Power BI more than I do, for example, and you don't understand how those structures are going to work, how do I do it for you, for example, on the database? So these things are complex. You need to now go out of the box to learn those things as well. So you are not concentrating on one thing as this is your area, fine. But understanding other areas is also very, very paramount for you. Okay, so, and you talked, another thing that I wanted to bring to your notice is you talked about the Nigerian Data Protection Agency. Here, we call it HIPAA regulation in the United States. So it makes a whole lot of sense, what you were presenting. So those areas, a lot of people might take that away, but those are the most important thing employers want to hear from you. If you are able to tell me that you understand how to protect a data, and a medical data is supposed to be protected everywhere in the world. In the US, they call it HIPAA. In Europe, it's called, they have different names for it. So you need to look for that name for the area you are talking about. So anything data, first things first you want to talk about is, I was watching if you were going to present that, if you were going to show that, and you showed it. Congratulations for that. Now, it's very good when you do these things. Another thing that you did was you spoke about backup regularly. You are not the one to do that. A database administrator will do that for you, but you need to understand what you need. You get it? So in your area as a data analyst, you already know that in those kind of sensitive things, you need regular backup, which you stated, which is good. So these things is what will make me score you higher, right? Because you know the intricacies and the important things to ask, all right? Even if you don't know it, and you don't need to know it, right? But you understand it. So when you're looking for something, you know what to ask. Most managers know nothing. The thing they know is that they know what to ask in a high level. So those are the things that you did for me. And this, your Power BI graph is very beautiful. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mr. Godwin. Man, Oluwatosin, well done, well done, well done, well done, well done again and again. Man, what you have just presented actually covered all interview questions. I don't know where they want to hide. With what you have said, you have covered everything. You know, I mean, these are the things we are trying to teach you, that when you are during interview, they ask you, tell me about yourself. They can ask you, okay, what are the projects you have done? If you mention this for them and you are able to explain like this in summary to them, nobody will reject you. So well done. Another thing I want to point out is the business acumen. You have understanding of the solution. You know, I mean, at the beginning of the class, we told you guys, as a data analyst is not a stereotype role. You can work as a data analyst in healthcare sector. You can work as a data analyst in finance sector. You can work as a data analyst in construction, in any sector. Whichever role you are currently working, you have the business acumen. You have the understanding of the business. Because for you to actually to be able to present a very good report, you must understand the process. Now, you're able to, now with what you have done now, if they ask you to generate any report, all they need to do is just to tell you this. Can we get a report like this? You will be able to generate such report for them because you have the business acumen. You understand the process. Okay, now with this solution now, I believe you go to any employer, any hospital. I mean, if I'm the hospital, I ask you now, okay, with what you have done now, what will be my benefit? If you are able to provide this solution for my hospital, what would be my benefit? If I ask you now, can you tell me what are the advantages?
Thank you very much, sir. You meant the advantage on the part of the
The solution.
hospital.
Yeah, yeah, as an hospital owner. If I'm the
Okay.
owner now, what will be my benefit of
It
applying this
means
solution?
that people that walk into their hospital have a seamless experience compared to other hospitals, and it will reduce the number of hours they spend there. Normally, if they go to other places, probably they will spend 5 hours. By the time they are checking into that hospital, it has reduced their time and it has reduced stress for them. And also for their staff, it makes work, whatever amount they are paying them, it makes their work seamless or reduced such that they are not working so hard and then getting the pay and then they are not now delivering what they are supposed to do when they are being stressed. It just saves time and
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, man. I mean, you have really won my heart. It saved money as well. You know, this actually will make you to downsize your staff. It saves money. No employer, no business owner will hear this and will not want to apply for the solution. So a very good, well done on that. All right, so then on the Power BI, nice dashboard. Nice dashboard. You are very good. And another thing, you also understand the process as well. You understand what you are trying to provide the solution to it. But one thing I noted there is that on the age group would have been very nice if you present it in the bar chart. In the bar chart, not in the pie chart. The bar chart will be easy. And you can also add the data label so that they see either in percentage. Okay, this is a percentage of this and this and this and that. So that is what I have. So well done. Nice one. I'm really impressed.
thank you, sir.
Hoping to hear the good news from you very, very soon, by God's grace. All right, thank you so much, Oluwa Tosin. So we'll go to the next person now. So before we go to the next person, do we have anyone, any of the audience that ask any question for her? Do you have anyone like that? She's your senior colleague now, they are a new student. And she might actually be your mentor because we are going to recruit some of them to be the mentor to the newcoming student. All right, so if there is no question, we go to, okay, Unsa Nkute. I hope I pronounced your name very well. So apology if I did not. So it's time for you to present your project.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure. I'm here, you know.
Sorry, my power. I mean, I'm presenting all the way from Calabar, Nigeria, and you know how power is over here.
Oh,
It is
no problem.
okay. So I want to first of all express my gratitude to my instructors, you, Mr. Alaka, Mr. Godwin, and Mr. Lawrence. Ever since June, was it June or July we started? It has been the best 6 months of my life as I transitioned into tech and actually chose data analysis. Okay, so let me share my work. Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, so my name, like I mentioned, is Nsa Nkute. From Cross River State, Nigeria. I'll be presenting my capstone project today. I was a member. Okay, I've not even acknowledged my fellow classmates, my fellow trainers with batch 6. It's nice to meet you guys again. Okay, so can you see my screen properly?
Yes,
Okay,
we can see it. You
okay.
can also use the F5 so that you can display everything. Yeah, correct. It's fine now.
All right. So I'll be talking on the Entrepreneurship Development Center database. The inspiration for creating this database is the fact that my wife works with the University of Calabar, and she is a lecturer with the entrepreneurship department. So most times she comes home worried about result sheets, and before you know, the director will call her, we need names of students that have failed, the names of students that have passed. People call for missing scripts and missing results. So many chaos, and of course, you know, it doesn't only affect her, it will affect me by extension. So when we were thinking of what to do, I now thought of a solution in that regard, which brings about the Entrepreneurship Development Center database. So by means of introduction, the Entrepreneurship Development Center is an independent center or hub of the University of Calabar responsible for the training and impacting of students of the different faculties and departments of the university with entrepreneurial and practical skills on different business ventures, to include fashion and design, makeup, shoe making, bags, and etc. It is supposed to be an added advantage for them aside their core disciplines, whatever course they are studying in the university. This is like an extra discipline, extra skill set to help them in due course. So the objectives and the goals of this database is to create a comprehensive database for the center, like I said, to get insights on distribution of students in the different ventures, faculties, and departments, to get insights on the most patronized ventures and why, because the students actually have a free hand to choose any of the ventures they want. So if we notice that the particular venture, we have a lot of students going there, we need to know why. Is it that they pass very well? Is it that the teacher, the venture partners are doing very well? Or it could help in bringing those solutions. So to be able to recall information also, and to make sound decisions with accurate data and with ease. Okay, so the data involved students data, venture data. The venture is the type of business or skill, registration details, venture partners, which are like the instructors or the business people that teach these things, the grades and the semesters. The tools I used to form this database are Microsoft Excel and SQL. Okay, so analysis of the application area of the business. So like I said earlier, the Entrepreneurship Development Center is a center responsible for training students of the University of Calabar in skills and entrepreneurship within a specific session. That is the first and second semester of their second year. It is mainly for students in their second year. It's divided into two parts, the theoretical part for the first semester and practical part for the second semester. The course is actually compulsory for every second year student. If you don't pass it, you can't move or you can't graduate. So which shows it is a very important course. The students from various faculties and departments are required to register for any of the ventures of their choice and are taught by venture partners. These venture partners are like business owners that maybe probably have a shop or are actually doing those things presently and are knowledgeable in those different skills. They are either on contract or permanent staff basis. If, like I mentioned earlier, the ventures include fashion and design, barbing, paint making, makeup, baking, etc. Okay, so data set description. We have the students table, or the students, yes, the students table, which is information on all the students. It will involve student ID, which is a unique identifier for each student, student's first name, the student's last name, the student's gender, the student's address, and the student's phone number. Then we also have information on the ventures, which is information on all the different types of entrepreneurship skills. It includes venture ID, which is the unique identifier for the different ventures, venture name, the name of the venture, the venue where those training takes place. We also have venture partners, which are information on the venture partners, those business owners. We have a venture partner ID, unique identifier for the venture partners. We also have venture partner name, the name of the venture partners, then the venue where the training takes place. So we also have information on semester ID, unique identifier for each semester, the different semesters, the date of commencement of each of those semesters. We have information on grades, the grades table, which will have information on the student's grade. We have record of students' score, then the type of grade, the mark, which is the type of grade, whether it is pass, average, or fail. We also have faculty table, where you have information on students' faculty, faculty ID, unique identifier for the different faculties. You have the name of the faculty. We have department of each student, department name, which represents departments of each of those students. We have the registration table, information on the student's registration, Reg ID, which is a unique identifier for the student's registration, payments received, registration fees, the status, whether it is full or part. We have registration date, record of the date of registration. So this is the entity relational model, which shows the connection of the different tables. This is a snowflake schema. I used Microsoft what they call it, data, this thing, to produce this. So we have the grades table, which shows everything and their relationship with the registration table, which is actually the fact table. We also have some other tables that are connected. You can see the grades table connected to this on the many-to-many connection. We have this one-to-many, we have this one-to-many, we have this one-to-many, one-to-many, and this many-to-many. This is actually a snowflake schema. Okay, so for normalization, I had to break down my dimension tables into additional tables, which turned it into a snowflake, of course. So to reduce redundancy, I ensured that each independent piece of information is only in one table, except for the foreign keys, to better organize my data and improve query performance. So, okay, so I now took time to break down the table names and their attributes. So for the student table, like you can see, it is student ID, it's NVACA, it's a primary key, the student's first name, student's last name, gender, address, phone number, faculty ID, they are all, okay. So phone number, all primary keys. I have faculty ID and department name as foreign keys in this particular student table. Okay, so for my venture table, I have venture ID as NVACA, primary key, venture code, venture name, venue, and venture partner name, which is a foreign key in this table. I have the venture partner table, where I have my venture partner ID, primary key, venture partner name, venture partner address, venture partner type, all primary keys in this table, and venture name, which is a foreign key for this table. The semester table includes semester ID as a unique identifier as a primary key. I have the semester and the start date also. I also have faculty table, faculty ID, the unique identifier as a primary key, faculty name, and department name. For the registration table, I have registration ID as a primary key, student ID, venture ID, semester ID, payment received. Oh, semester ID is a foreign key there. Student ID and venture ID are foreign key there. Payment received is a primary key. Status and registration date are also primary keys for the registration table. I also have a grade table which shows the grade ID as a primary key. Student ID, semester, grade, mark are all, okay, student ID and semester are all foreign keys. The grade is a primary key. The mark is a primary key, and the venture code is a foreign key on grade table. Okay, so I actually took the time to copy my SQL statement while creating the table. If you run this, if you take this and run it on your SQL, it will give you exactly everything I did to get my database. So this is the syntax to create database. So for the student table, creating the student table, you can see everything. I don't have to start teaching my senior colleagues that are already here. I'm sure they have idea of what is here. So these are the SQL syntax to create table for these. Okay. When after doing this, in fact, I used several options. I also added I used several options in SQL to get my data into creating the table, alter table, references, and what have you. Okay, so for the venture table, these are all the syntaxes to create all those tables. Create venture partner table, and updating to create the semester table, to create the faculty table, to create the registration table, and foreign key and references and everything are well stated in this syntaxes. To create, this is the syntax to create the grade table, and including the foreign keys and every other references. Okay, so we were asked to populate the tables also. So these are my SQL statements to populate the table. This is the syntax to populate the students table. This is syntax to populate the venture table. This is syntax to populate the venture partner table. I hope I'm not too fast. This is syntax to populate the semester table, to the faculty table, the registration table also. Okay, so I did a rundown, the select statements for the student table to see. I did at least 5. I was able to put at least 5 lines of data for the students table. This is for the venture table. This is the venture partners table, where it shows the venture partner ID, venture partner name, venture partner address, venture partner type, and venture name. This is for the semester table, the semester and the semester start date. This is for faculty table, where it shows the faculty ID, faculty name, and the department name. This is the registration table, where you have registration ID, you have the student ID, venture ID, semester ID, the payments received, the status, whether it is full. Like here, I choose 1,000 as the highest amount to be paid. So it shows here on the status that it's a full payment. For these other students, it's a part payment, full payment, and the dates of their registrations. I also have the grade table, where it shows the grade ID, student ID, semester ID, the grade, and the remark, whether it is pass or fail, and their venture code. Okay, so we're asked to do a query to the database and get something in return. So I did a list of registered students that have made full payment. This is the SQL syntax. I don't need to go into all that for our new people. Okay, so this is the list of the registered students that have made full payments, and this is the resultant, where it shows the student's name, the address, the phone number, the department, the payment, and the status. So this is actually for students that have paid full, which is one of the solutions of this database. You can easily get information like this instead of running helter-skelter, like I mentioned the problem earlier before I started. Okay, so I did another one, a list of ventures where students scored 70 and above. This is the SQL syntax that shows that, and this is the resultant result. It shows the venture, makeup, baking, and fashion design, the venture partner, the student's name, the department, the grade, and remark. You can see here it says where you have grade between 70 and 100, and it showed that here in descending order. I had to do a join statement here also, joining the venture table with the other table, department table. Okay, this is another question I asked, query, comprehensive list of students and venture where students actually failed. You can see that you can get this information at a glimpse without even much stress by just doing this. So it shows the student name, Gladys Okoro and Gift, the gender, the address, the phone number, department, the venture name, the grade, and the remark. These were the students that failed. Okay, so for data governance, security, and integrity. I'll make sure we secure support from the director. Of course, you cannot do anything. You need to let the director understand why he needs the database for his department in the first place. And secure support from the director of the Entrepreneurship Center, as well as the vice chancellor of the school, by making them understand the significance and objectives of data governance and the business value that this will enable, this database will enable. I will also raise awareness among the staff. In fact, if I have to do training for them, that okay, going forward, if this proposal is accepted, going forward, there are certain things they need to know. The people that are receiving the information, there are certain kind of training that they need to know to be able to get accurate data. So raise awareness among the staff of the Entrepreneurship Center. I'll identify the data needs, the measures, the KPIs, key performance indexes, the required management process, the technology and the tools required. They will definitely need to acquire systems that will, and certain programs in the system that will aid in getting this data and information. I'll deploy robust security protocols to safeguard the integrity of this database. I will ensure that sensitive student to staff data is protected and inaccessible to unauthorized users, including payment and registration data breaches or tampering with the result, because of course we know that students can be funny at times. So we'll put secure passwords and all those things to be able to be sure that it is only people that are permitted to have access into certain data are the only ones that have access to those data. Okay, so I'll deploy access controls like passwords and all those things through secure logins, data encryption, and regular security audits from time to time. It will not just be a one-time thing. From time to time, we'll check the system to be sure that there are no breaches and all those things to protect the database. The proposed database will be designed to be scalable. So it will not just be for the entrepreneurship department. If they accept the proposal, we can scale it up to other departments. Imagine doing this kind of database for the whole University of Calabar. I think it is a very big prospect. So it is going to be designed to be something that will be scalable, allowing it to handle an increasing quantity of data without sacrificing the performance and the functionality. Okay, so I think I'll stop there for now. I don't know whether there's any other question.
Thank you so much. Well done. Well done. Nice presentation. Okay, so we'll do the same thing again. We'll give room for Mr. Uwa and Mr. Lawrence to give their comments.
All right.
Then I'll also give my
Always
comment.
the first to comment. All right. Thank you, sir. A very nice presentation. On a lighter note, I'm one of those that believes that NYSC, the Nigeria NYSC scheme, is a waste of time and money. Now, with the presentation you did today, this is exactly what I had in mind. I don't know if I've had this discussion with Godwin before. The NYSC scheme is a waste of time. What I would propose, like what you just did now, is for all final year students to go through such entrepreneurship program, and by graduation, the amount allocated for each person for NYSC be paid into their account so that they can start life with that. So seeing this presentation from you is something I quite appreciate. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Then I want to draw your attention to, I did a screenshot. Hold on. Your student table, right? If you can go back to the student table, I have several primary keys there. I don't know, you want to explain to us? And then do you understand what we mean by composite key? Do you know the concept of a composite key? So looking back at the student table, no, go back. There's one where you have primary key, primary key, primary key. I'm like, the student table. Yes, stop. Yeah, student table, go back a little bit. Yeah. So primary key, primary key, primary key. You want to explain, what you mean by, like, so how many primary keys can you have in a table? I think that let's start from there.
Okay. By primary key here is this is the information that is particular to that table. That's what I meant by my own primary key.
No, no, no. It's a universal language, right?
Okay. Okay.
So first, so you can start by answering the question: how many primary keys can you have in a table?
Okay. How many primary keys can I
Yeah,
have
are you
in a
supposed to have
table?
in a table, like a standard table? How many primary keys can you have? How many
Uh,
foreign keys? Do you understand the concept of composite key, right? So
oh,
I think these are things you can answer much better. Aside from that, is a very nice presentation. Thank you very much.
okay.
We appreciate this. And also
Okay.
on your SQL statements, I also
Oh,
like the use of concat there. I just want to
okay.
draw our attention to it. I don't know if you can go there where you have that concat on that table. Yeah, you can stop. You can go back. Yeah. So this concat, basically bringing the first name and the last name together, and then the concept of this quotation mark is actually to leave a space between the first name and last name, and then you brought that together as students. I saw it because it's something I did recently with Excel. So immediately I saw it, I'm like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. So thank you very much for the powerful presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Hello. Thank you, Nkute. Thank you so much. Really, because you're really dealing with my own area, basically, the area you're dealing with has so much to do with me. So creating that kind of server would be very easy, basically. All you just need to do is to use Azure. Azure has those kind of abilities. They will just buy those containers on Azure and it can be set up pretty easily. So instead of, setting up, like we were saying, that setting up all the modalities and many, many, many things in the university, you really don't need that. Azure can do that. You just buy a container on Azure and you use it to set up the server. All you just need is 2 servers or one. Even 1 server is basically enough. I work in the university, so we have, in fact, what we use is 1 server, one. So, and that 1 server is hosted locally, but you can host on Azure and it's quite safe. Why they host theirs locally is because of the social security number. They don't trust Azure for that. So that's one thing I wanted to say. Another thing that you did that is good, because when you're set, one thing that you said, or one thing that you did, is that you actually realize this for your wife. And
Exactly.
that is one big difference between you and most of our students. We don't have a lot of people doing this. When you do this locally or for yourself, it creates an advantage, right? For you to understand those problems that comes with SQL Server, those problems that comes in a natural world environment. Try it. And like I was telling you, that many things that he does, he tries as much as possible to do this thing locally, as in create these things in your own computer, put it there, play with it. You will see many problems. You want to do something, it won't work. Why? Because of the constraints you have on your table. You will be understanding, oh, it's like this, oh, it's like that. Because in a real world environment, this is what you're going to meet. This is what you're going to see. For example, the concat thing is very vital to understand the importance of concat. It's just putting 2 things together to make it one. You have it on Excel as well. It's very easy to do. But the thing is, if you don't understand these things, how would you do it? If you are not practicing, that is why you have the Udemy. All you've done that really I would appreciate you for is the fact that you realize that you can solve a problem. You have the knowledge to solve the problem and you are going on your way to solve it. No matter the problems you see along the way, you will be solving them one after the other. That is why I would like to mentor someone like you. You know, you will be very easy to mentor because you are already practicing it. You are seeing the problem daily. You are facing the problem. It doesn't matter. So it's not like people are not facing problems. The thing is, they will leave this class and they will no longer do anything. So if you don't do these things on a daily basis, it will leave you. No magic about it. That is why you have the Udemy. I say it every second. The reason for Udemy is because you want to be practicing every time. There are past questions, there are test questions, there are different things on the Udemy. You don't have excuse not to be practicing or getting yourself engaged. So thank you so much, Nkute. I really appreciate what you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you once again, Nkute. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. One thing I point out here is that good knowledge of the business problem. You actually understand it, and that is what you need. Once you understand it, then you'll be able to manipulate it, work around it the way you want to. You know, then from what Mr. Owa said, this is an encouragement to everyone. Please, after the class, don't just go and sit down and say you have known everything about data analysis. You need to practice. You need to engage yourself in a problem like this. These are the things you are going to talk about during your interview. And these are the things that will open you to actually understand more things, even more than what we are actually teaching in class. Okay, so thank you so much, Nkute. So for those that have presented, you are automatically a graduate from our institute. Congratulations. So we'll be moving you to the next stage, which is our Open My Offer Letter. That's our mentorship group. So we are going to be moving you, and we are going to assign your certificate to you. All right, do we still have anyone that he or she is ready to present tonight? Damilola, Vera, are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? Okay, so if they are not ready tonight, then we can actually call it a day. So once again, I want to appreciate everyone, and for those that have presented, so well done. Nice presentation. And please don't forget to use the resource that we have for you on Udemy. We have a free resource for you guys. Make use of it, and you can always reach out to us. Always reach out to us whenever you have any question, anything bothering you. Always reach out to us. And the next thing you need to do now is applying for a job. Don't wait for anybody. Make sure your CV is okay. If you need any help with your CV, reach out to us so that we can provide a template for you. Put your CV out there. I mean, at the beginning of this section, there's something I show us on how to see available jobs in your region. I told you, you go to your Google. Once you on your Google search, type data analyst jobs. Just type that. You know, it's going to give you all the data analyst jobs in your region. I did that. This is in Qatar, and I'm able to see all data analyst jobs in Qatar. And I can click on. So this is like an easy way to look for these jobs. All you need to do, and I also told us that when you're applying for a job, make sure your CV is specific to that job role. You know, we have some job roles that the job description include Python. The job description include having understanding of some CRM, different things. Make sure you put those key points there. You know, the first stage is for them to be able to call you for interview. When you get to the interview, then you'll be able to say what you have known. And one thing I know from experience is that it is not every tools that they put in the job description that you will actually use when you get to the job. No, they put some there to scare you away. So, but in your own CV, if you don't have it and the system has filtered you out, you will not be able to get to the interview, you know, for you to be able to actually defend yourself that these are the things that you know. So please don't relent. Continue searching for the job. And whenever you get any call, make sure you let us know. We also prepare you for your job interview. We'll give you some points on things that you need to say. I mean, how you need to arrange your tell me about yourself. I mean, you already have a point now. Having this project alone is a big project on its own. You know, when you're talking about what you have done, you mentioned this, and when you are saying it, you will not say it as if it is a school project. We will say it as if this is one of the real life projects that you have done. And if anybody hear this, you know, you are good to go. So thank you once again. Then I want to open the floor for questions. Is there any question? Do we have anyone on this call that has any question generally for us? Okay. So then for our new students, we are going to let you know the date for your orientation. We're having an orientation program for you guys. We'll let you know why the main class will start in February, second week of February. I think that's 8th. Yeah, 8th Saturday. So second week of February, we are going to kickstart batch 7. So I wish you all, I wish you best of luck. Thank you, everyone. Any question?
Thank you.
All right.
Good night.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Good night.
Thank you, sir. Good night,
Okay,
sir.
good night.
Yeah.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good
Good
night.
night, everybody. Good night.